Imagine being frozen solid for 6 hours and then waking up as if nothing happened. This is the incredible true story of a woman who defied science and survived the impossible. December 1980, a frigid winter night in rural Minnesota. The roads are blanketed in ice, the air so cold it cuts through flesh like a razor. The sky, black and endless, stretches over the sleepy town of Lengby, where nothing extraordinary ever happens. Until tonight. Tonight, a 19-year-old woman is fighting for her life. Jean Hilliard is staggering through the snow, her breath ragged, her limbs numb. Each step feels like walking through quicksand, her boots sinking into knee-deep drifts. Her car, dead, useless, sits miles behind her on the desolate road. It had skidded off into a ditch, the engine refusing to start. She had no choice but to walk, to fight against the cruel grip of the winter storm. She is dressed for the cold but not for survival. She is wearing cowboy boots, a winter coat, and gloves. Those gloves are now soaked, her fingers stiff like wooden pegs. She clenches her hands into fists, willing them to move, but they barely obey. Her body is shutting down. Up ahead, through the darkness, she spots a faint glow. A farmhouse. It's only a few hundred yards away. Hope ignites in her chest. She pushes forward, dragging her feet, her legs trembling. But the storm is stronger than her will. The wind howls like a predator, seeping into her bones, and exhaustion pulls her down. With a final desperate step, she collapses, face first into the snow, just 20 feet from the front door of her friend's house. Then, silence. Jean Hilliard does not move again for 6 hours. And when they find her in the morning, she is frozen solid. At dawn, as the first morning light spills over the frozen landscape, Wally Nelson, an old friend of Jean's, opens his front door, shivering at the bitter wind. He's about to step outside when something catches his eye, a dark shape lying in the snow. He squints, trying to make out what the thing is. The shape is still. Then, recognition slams into him like a freight train. Jin? He stumbles forward, his breath clouding the air. His boots crunch against the ice. As he gets closer, dread grips his chest. Jean Hilliard is lying stiff on the ground, her eyes frozen wide open, her hair encased in ice. Her skin is deathly pale, her lips blue. Her arms are twisted at odd angles, frozen mid-motion as if she had been reaching for help. Her body is as solid as a block of ice. No pulse, no breath, no warmth. She is dead. Or at least, she should be. Panic sets in. Wally hoists Jean's rigid body into his truck, driving faster than he ever has in his life. The hospital is nearly 10 miles away, every second feeling like an eternity. Doctors at Foston Hospital prepare for the worst. A frozen corpse. A formality. When they touch her skin, she isn't just cold, she is ice cold. Her body temperature is barely 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Too low to sustain life. Her skin is like porcelain, too hard to pierce with a needle. Her joints won't bend. Even her eyeballs are frozen solid. Yet somehow, deep, deep inside her chest, a faint, slow heartbeat struggles on. Thump, thump. It's weak, far too weak, but it's there. Jean Hilliard is not dead. Doctors do the only thing they can. They wrap her in warm blankets, no hot water, no heating pads. If they warm her too quickly, her blood vessels might burst. Slowly and steadily, they bring her back. Hours pass. Then, movement. Jean shudders, her fingers twitch, her breath rattles, and then, her eyes move. By noon, she is blinking. By evening, she is speaking. By the next morning, she is completely awake. Doctors are stunned. Hypothermia of this severity is almost always fatal. Yet, against all logic, Jean Hilliard is alive. She should have suffered brain damage, organ failure, frostbite so severe that amputation would be necessary. But within days, she is walking. And 2 weeks later, she is discharged from the hospital with 0 long-term damage. Jean's case remains one of the most baffling medical anomalies in history. Some doctors believe that her slow freezing process placed her body into a state of suspended animation, allowing her vital functions to pause without permanent damage. Others point to extreme hypothermia cases, where metabolism slows to near zero, buying the body some precious time. Even among survival experts, Jean Hilliard's case is an outlier. A miracle? A fluke? A scientific phenomenon we don't yet understand? No one can say for sure. But what we do know is this. On one of the coldest nights in Minnesota history, a 19-year-old girl froze solid, and somehow she walked away with no significant injuries. Today, Jean Hilliard is alive and well, living a quiet life far from the spotlight. She doesn't claim to understand what happened to her that night, but she remains grateful for every day she is alive. She was given a second chance, a chance that defied science and logic. Her story is a testament to the resilience of the human body, and perhaps the mysteries of the universe that we may never fully comprehend. What do you think? Was Jean's survival a medical miracle? Something beyond our understanding? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more mind-blowing real-life survival stories. Until next time, stay safe and stay warm.